Donald Trump targeted Chuck Jones in 2 tweets. The first one, he says that Chuck Jones did a terrible job representing workers. No wonder companies flee the country. In the next, he said if United Steelworkers was any good, they would have kept those jobs in Indiana. Now, this came about 20 minutes after Chuck Jones did an interview with CNN pointing out the workers at Carrier who were still losing their jobs. Now, in the interview, Jones did recognize the work that Trump did to keep a lot of those jobs in Indianapolis, and he thanked him for that. But he said Trump should have been more upfront with how many jobs are actually staying in Indiana. Shortly after, Trump started tweeting telling Jones that unions should spend more time working, less time talking, and reduce dues. Jones said the tweets don't bother him. He's always been trying to protect workers' jobs and wages.
If he wants to blame me, so be it, but I look at him, how many millions of dollars he spent on his hotels and casinos, try to keep labor unions out.
The Indiana AFL-CIO came to Jones's defense, tweeting, "Chuck Jones is a man of integrity who always puts the interest of workers first. To say otherwise is not only false, it's infuriating." We've also started to see people using the hashtag I'm with Chuck. We'll have to see if that takes off throughout the morning, and we'll have more reaction coming up in the next hour of Daybreak. Scott and Kylie. Morning. This all started after Chuck Jones did an interview with CNN saying hundreds of Carrier workers are still losing their jobs, and Donald Trump was not honest about the numbers. 20 minutes later, Trump started tweeting saying Chuck Jones did a terrible job representing workers. He went on to say no wonder companies flee the country. Trump said if the Steelworkers Union was any good, it would have kept the jobs in Indiana. Jones told us he's grateful the majority of Indianapolis workers will keep their jobs, but he wishes Trump would have been upfront about the numbers so workers didn't get their hopes up. Jones told us the tweets don't bother him.
Nothing from him really shocks me. I didn't take exception to it. His opinion really, quite honestly, don't mean nothing to me at all. I hope he is successful. He is, even though I didn't vote for him, didn't support him. He is a president, soon to be, and I hope he has a very successful term as president, because if not, the American people will suffer.
In response to all of this, the Steelworkers Union tweeted, "Chuck is a hero, not a scapegoat. You, others know about Carrier because of his members' tireless work since day one to save all jobs there." This tweet from the vice president-elect is also starting to make the rounds this morning. It's from March of this year. Pence said, "Appreciate the chance to meet with Chuck Jones and hardworking men of Local 1999 about our efforts to save Carrier jobs." And we'll let you know if Trump or Jones has anything more to say about this throughout the morning. We'll be sure to keep a close eye on this story. Scott and Lauren. We talked to Jones right after the tweets came out. He was relatively calm at that point, but as the night went on, he started talking to national outlets. He appeared to get more and more frustrated with the situation, even telling the Washington Post that Trump, quote, needs to worry about getting his cabinet filled and leave me the hell alone. Jones also did a late-night interview with MSNBC, and he said he and his family have received threats since Trump started tweeting. We're hoping to speak with Jones at around 7:30 this morning. If we're able to get a hold of him, we'll be sure to let you know what he has to say now that this story has really taken a turn and blown up nationally. Scott and Lauren just did an interview with CNN in the past half an hour or so. He says Donald Trump overreacted when he started tweeting about him. As we've been reporting this morning, Trump tweeted about Jones saying he did a terrible job representing Carrier workers, and the union should have been able to keep the jobs in Indianapolis. Trump started tweeting shortly after Jones challenged him in an interview last night, saying Trump was not honest about the number of Carrier jobs staying in the U.S. Jones says hundreds of workers in Indiana will still lose their jobs. Jones said Trump got workers' hopes up, but then they were once again disappointed when they found out some of them will still lose their jobs. Since Trump launched his Twitter attack, Jones says he's gotten threatening phone calls, but he says he won't let that get to him.
I've been doing this job 30 years, and I've had a lot more serious threats than what people are making right now. I've got a little more thicker skin maybe than I did many years ago. Everybody's got a right to their opinion, and sometimes we disagree on things, but I'm not overly upset about any of it.
Jones went on to say if Trump was going to tweet, he should have backed up his numbers. Jones says he wanted to hear Trump respond to the issues instead of just going on the attack. Now, we tried to call Jones ourselves this morning, but his phone has been busy all morning long. As soon as we get a hold of him again, we'll let you know what he has to say this morning here on Wish TV and WishTV.com. Kylie.